Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Stein, and I'm glad to see so many faces here this evening. I am the program manager for VentureCat, and so in partnership with several units from across the university, I work to help organize VentureCat each year. And those units include the Donald Pritzker Entrepreneurial Law Center, which is downtown on the Chicago campus, the Farley Center for Entrepreneurship and Innovation in the Engineering School, Kellogg's Entrepreneurship Program, and then, of course, the Garage. Right. So as many of you already know, VentureCat is Northwestern's annual cross-university student startup competition that takes place each May. And this session is meant to just provide you with as much information as possible to help you prepare to apply when the application opens later in March. One of the first things I like to talk about when speaking with students about applying to VentureCat is that we typically see a range of business development stages represented in applications submitted. There are teams in that earlier stage of testing and validating key assumptions about their business, all the way to teams that have launched a product or service and may be generating revenue. And student teams from across that spectrum are welcome and encouraged to apply, but we do want to emphasize that all teams need to be beyond an idea, okay? To be competitive, teams need to be able to illustrate that they have a defined business model, provide specific examples of traction and validation, and illustrate a commitment to working on the venture beyond this competition. Okay. And this next slide is certainly not an exhaustive list of examples of progress beyond an idea, but I just include it because sometimes we get some questions about what does progress look like. So this is some examples of what progress can look like. Okay. All right. So one helpful exercise to gauge your readiness to apply is to review the evaluation criteria, which are on the VentureCat website. This criteria is used both at the point of application and by the judges on the day of competition. The complete criteria is on the website, but they all roll up into one of these 4 areas. And again, reviewing this information is just going to help you assess your readiness to apply and also can highlight areas where you may want to spend some more attention between now and when the application opens in March. All right, so the competition and the semifinals rather are organized by these 5 tracks: business products and services, consumer products and services, energy and sustainability, life sciences and medical innovations, and social impact. And likewise, the application is set up for you to apply to one of those 5 tracks. You can only apply to one track, and we do typically see that the B2C and B2B tracks receive the most applications. So if, say, you have an energy and sustainability company that's also a business and consumer company, we would encourage you to apply to the energy and sustainability track. If you have questions about which track is most appropriate for your specific startup, we do have FAQs or guidance in the FAQ section on the website, and you're also welcome to reach out to me at the VentureCat email address. All right. So another really great way to learn about the competition and the types of teams that are selected to participate is to check out recordings of past public showcases. We have all of our past VentureCats public showcases on the VentureCat YouTube channel. And so this, again, is just a really great resource to see how other teams have framed their pitches and just to get a sense of what the competition is like. Okay. So this next section that we're going to get into is going to probably cover a lot of questions that you might have, but I just want to ask if there's any questions about what I've covered so far. Okay. All right. So the 2026 timeline is going to start with the application opening on Monday, March 30th. It's going to be open through Thursday, April 9th until 11:59 p.m. Central Time. We will then announce the 25 semifinalist teams on April 23rd, and that's 25 teams across the 5 tracks. Then from April 24th to May 22nd, those 25 teams will participate in the VentureCat Pitch Prep Program. This is an amazing program. It's when those 25 teams get a chance to meet one-on-one with coaches to perfect their pitches. They get access to graphic design services to create a pitch deck for competition day, and just an opportunity to build your network. It's just a really incredible part of being selected as a semifinalist. And then the day of VentureCat is on Wednesday, May 27th. It is a full day of activities, so I highly recommend that you block the day on your calendar if you are really hoping to be a part of this competition. The morning is when the semifinals take place. Then the afternoon is when the finals take place. And then the evening is when we have the finals public showcase over at Kellogg in the White Auditorium. And that is also when we announce who the winners are and when the winners find out that they are the winners. So again, this is a full day affair. So yes, definitely make sure it's something that you have marked on your calendar. For the application, we include a series of questions that tie back to the evaluation criteria I mentioned earlier. We ask you to provide a link to a 60-second elevator pitch video. This should be low tech, no slides, just you talking to the camera. We do have some examples of what we felt were successful elevator pitch videos on the VentureCat website. We also ask that you provide a 10-slide pitch deck. You can include 2 to 3 appendix slides if needed. So it's pretty straightforward. In terms of the prizes, we will be awarding $100,000 to the first place winner, $50,000 to the second place winner, $25,000 to the third place winner, and during the public showcase, the audience will select the audience favorite, and that team will win $5,000. One thing we do like to call out about the prize money is that we work with the first and second place teams to set milestones connected to basically allocate money in tranches of $25,000. So the teams don't get they don't get the payments in one lump sum. So that's something we want to mention. And all prize payments, no matter the amount, are considered taxable income. So that's something else that all teams should be keeping in mind and thinking about in terms of tax planning. Okay, so the following slides are meant to highlight some key program restrictions and requirements. It is not an exhaustive list of all of the requirements and restrictions, so please do take some time prior to submitting an application to read through the rules and restrictions on the VentureCat website, just so that you're walking into the process with your eyes wide open. The first requirement that I would like to call out is that each team must have one currently enrolled degree-seeking Northwestern student who is a co-founder or founder or co-founder and substantial equity holder in the business. We do not have a specific percentage of what we consider substantial equity because that can vary depending on the structure of the startup and how many people there are involved. But essentially this is in place because we don't want somebody participating in the competition that isn't actually a founder and has equity and decision-making authority to direct kind of the outcomes of the startup. Additionally, only current Northwestern students will be allowed to present at the semifinals and finals and participate in the Q&A. In years past, we have allowed non-Northwestern students to participate in the Q&A, and we will not be allowing that this year. Okay. So additionally, in terms of another requirement, all teams will be asked to attest on the application that their team, including all founders and other equity holders, has or will have a signed agreement that outlines the equity ownership of the company, for example, a founders agreement, by the VentureCat competition date. And there are situations when we may ask to see that prior to the competition date, even if it isn't final. Okay. All right, so these eligibility requirements are connected to the business entity. For any student founders that are awarded prize money through VentureCat, in order to receive that prize money that's been awarded to your company, you will need to provide, you will need to have a US-based business entity and provide us with a W-9 with an employer identification number by July 1st of 2026. And the reason for this is that all prize payments are issued to the student company and not to the student founder. And we are prohibited from issuing payments to foreign business entities. All right. And the last two rules I want to flag are that businesses that have raised more than $500,000 in equity capital are ineligible to compete. And businesses that were founded more than 4 years prior to the VentureCat application deadline are also ineligible to compete. And this last slide is for our international student founders. Just want to encourage you to connect with the Office of International Student Scholar Services. If you have questions surrounding just your visa status and any CPT or OPT eligibility, sometimes we get questions about those issues, and we just don't have the expertise to provide guidance on that front. And so just wanted to include this slide and this office as a resource to reach out to related to those matters. Last, or almost last, we've got some upcoming events. We've got an office hour, an international office hour on Wednesday, February 18th, and another business entity formation office hour on Wednesday, March 4th. I believe both of the office hour slots are full, but if you do wish to have an appointment, we can add you to the wait list. To do that, please email thegarage@northwestern.edu with the times that you're available on those dates. And those hours would be, is it between 2 and 4?
It says on the link.
Whatever it says on the link. I believe it's between 2 and 4 p.m. And we can try and, if there's a cancellation, we can try and add you to the schedule. And then we also have another virtual session on Wednesday, February 25th, where professors from the Donald Pritzker Entrepreneurial Law Center will provide information on business entity formation, and an invention manager who will share information on university IP issues. It'll be virtual, be over the lunch hour. And yeah, you are encouraged to attend that if you have questions on either of those areas. And I will be sharing out these slides, so you'll be able to click on those links and get access to that information. And then this is the last slide. Here are some other resources that may be of interest for you to check out. We've got the Northwestern Student Business Formation website. There's information on there and templates for business formation templates. There are accounting and accounting resources. There are a whole list of other competitions that you can participate in on there. We've got the VentureCat website, which has all this information and more. We've got the VentureCat student email list, which if you're not on there already, please make sure to sign up and subscribe to that email list. That's where you'll hear about the application open, the semifinalist announcement, and so forth. And then last is the email to reach out to get in touch with me, which is the venturecat@northwestern.edu email. And in a moment, I will open it up for questions, but I just did want to briefly introduce Pablo Veramendi, who is with Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub, to share some information on Microsoft for Startups Founders Hub, which is one of the sponsors of VentureCat.
I'm excited to be here. Is this working? Yes, okay. My name is Pablo Veramendi. I'm the director for university engagement at Microsoft, and I'm a Northwestern grad, alumni. So it's amazing to be back and be able to interact with all of you. I've been at Microsoft for 14 years, working with university students for a majority of that time, starting with our global student developer competition called the Imagine Cup, which we'll talk about a little bit in a sec. Oh, there's a remote here somewhere too. But I currently work for Microsoft for Startups, and I partner with accelerators and incubators at universities across the globe to make sure that you have access to what you need to build your startup. So a couple questions for you. So how many of you will use AI in your solution? Okay. How many of you have a plan to pay for that AI? A couple of you, all right. How many of you expect to vibe code, using AI to vibe code to create your solution? All right, great. Well, we have a solution for all of that for you, but first I want you to hear from one of our startup customers. Hopefully we get audio.
Challenges being an entrepreneur is just how to do as much as possible with limited resources. Microsoft Founders Hub provided us with tools, with resources, and tech to accelerate our platform, and it's been very, very helpful. So Azure is fundamental to our business because our customers are Microsoft customers, and Azure affords us the scale and security we need to be able to comply with their needs. Technology is going to actually accelerate what we're trying to do and make it even faster and even better. But art and creativity are subjective forms. I think you're always going to need a human touch.
So we're here to accelerate your growth, and what differentiates us from Amazon or Google is that we have a funding advantage. I'll get into what the credits look like, and it's available for a longer period of time. We have global market access. So we have millions of Microsoft customers that you could get in front of and get your startup in front of. We're on the cutting edge of AI. We were one of the early investors in OpenAI, and we have implemented AI within all of our products very early on. And so we have advanced AI tooling and advanced supercomputing, and we've been in business for 50 years. So when you build on us, you can know that we're HIPAA compliant, that we have data provenance for different countries and government. And so we have industry-leading standards and practices that you can count on. So there's 3 routes for you to get credits. One, and I have a QR code for you in a second where you can sign up for it. You can immediately get credits for, you get access to $1,000 of Azure credits, and that's upgradable to $5,000. We have our offer with the garage, so those that are selected for VentureCat that move on will get access to $25,000 in Azure credits, along with a whole host of other benefits that I'll get into in a moment here. And the idea is that your experience with Microsoft for Startups, we grow with you. So as you grow as a startup, we want to be there for you as well. So we have VCs and investors that also partner with us that have codes that go up to $350,000 in Azure credits. So really want you to be able to build risk-free and extend your runway without really having to worry about the tech as you're building your startup. So here's the QR code for the $1,000 upgradable $5,000 offer. I'll come back to this at the end so you can scan it later as well. You just have to scroll down to the section where it says Get Started Quickly and sign up with Azure. You'll have to create a new Microsoft account if you don't already have an Azure account. In fact, I would just do that anyway so that it's separate from anything else you've been doing on Azure. But this will get you access to up to $5,000 in credits. So what can you do with those credits? Well, it's not just our AI that you can use with these credits. What I love about working for Microsoft is that we are essentially building the infrastructure for AI for a bunch of partners, not just Microsoft. So OpenAI, obviously, we were an early investor, and so all the GPT models are available: Sora, audio, image generation, GPT-5, GPT-4.1, GPT-5.2. All of those you can access with those credits. And so when you're thinking about, and I know that OpenAI has their own offer as well, so you can combine those or however you want to do it, but this will really get you started with OpenAI. But then we have partner models as well, so Black Forest Labs, Cohere, DeepSeek, Moonshot, Meta, our own models, Mistral, and XAI. So all of those models you can use with those $5,000 of credit, and then and including those $25,000 for those that move on in VentureCat. The other thing you can do is you can vibe code with those credits. So if you want to use any of those models with GitHub Copilot and vibe code, this is how you do that. This is a link to a blog post that shows you how to connect your GitHub with the Azure tenant to really take advantage of those credits for vibe coding as well. And then you can create code spaces, GitHub Copilot agents as well to really get you started. And then for those that do move on, it's the $25,000 in credits, discounted free offers for tools like Visual Studio Enterprise, Microsoft 365, LinkedIn. You get access to all those AI models, go-to-market support, so those that are in Microsoft for Startups get support from Microsoft for Startups to help you in your go-to-market planning and strategy, and hopefully with the end goal of you ending up on the Microsoft Marketplace. You also get technical expert guidance. So those that get this the code from the garage have unlimited pairings with Azure engineers. So you can talk to an engineer, to multiple engineers, about what you're creating and what services you can use and how you can best leverage Azure and all those different AI models for what you're building. So it's another thing that really differentiates us from our competitors. And again, what would happen for those that move on, the garage will provide you a code. You would use that code on the same website to access those $25,000 in credits and all a host of other benefits. And I'll show you a demo of what our platform looks like in a moment here. And yeah, and again, we want to grow with you. So even if you're getting close to the 25,000 in credits, if you're using them, we want you to continue to be able to use them. So we'll make sure that we get you more credits. And we actually have what we call a strategic nomination, which a startup can do, a student startup can do and get up to 150,000 in credits, even before they have any funder backing. Our deal startup is similar to what you just heard for VentureCat. You know, a software-based product or service. They have to have received less than 350,000 in lifetime credits, headquartered in a country where Azure is available, not raised Series C, privately held, and is a for-profit business. We do have Microsoft for Nonprofits, and that is a completely separate offer, but you can look it up if you're doing something in the nonprofit sector. We do have an offer of Azure credits for that as well. All right, so let me do a quick demo here. So this is what the platform looks like. So once those who get the access to 25,000 get into this platform, here's how you would request the one-on-one AI pairing, engineer pairing. This is where you would also get support from the community and so on and so forth. I can't even see my mouse anymore. It's so small. Let's try this one more time. Hold on one second. There it is. All right, let's see if I can see it in there. There. All right. And the last thing, if I can click on this benefits link, hold on. I'll just click on another window and then bring it back. Hold on one second. Thank you for your patience. Because there's other benefits beyond just the credits and the Azure pairing that I want to make sure you're aware of. So those startups also get access to GitHub Enterprise, Visual Studio Enterprise. Come on, you can do it. Too many windows. Too small screen. If I could just scroll 1 second. There we go. Okay, I know it's a little hard to see, but there's also third-party benefits. Actually, one of the startups here told me about a Stripe Atlas, which actually allows you for $250 to incorporate. They do all the paperwork for you, incorporate you as a startup, and so as a company. And so there's just a ton of other benefits, MongoDB, Stripe payments as well. And so just to show you that it's not just our platform, it's also third parties that want to have you participate with them as well. All right, and then the last thing I want to talk about is the Imagine Cup. This is our global student developer competition. It's actually almost at the end of the selection. We just heard from two garage teams a couple weeks ago that pitched for us, but we have 2 paths, scale and launch. You can win up to $100,000 in the launch path and up to $50,000 in the scale path. Sorry, I got that flipped. Scale is $100,000, launch is $50,000, and the 2 startups from the garage that were shortlisted are Hapti and Nick AI. So really amazing to see what they've accomplished through the garage and how prepared they were for the Imagine Cup. And I got a lot of positive feedback, not only because I'm an alumni, I hope, but also because they were just really incredible, and can't wait to see how far they go in the Imagine Cup as well. And then one last thing, we offer a lot of things for students. We can give you 12 months of free Microsoft 365 and LinkedIn Premium Career. And so another QR code if you want to scan that to get that for free. We want students to be successful. We own LinkedIn as well. And so this is another opportunity for students to be able to essentially build their profile on LinkedIn and get ready for that next phase in their career, including when you're building a startup, you want to be able to tell the story of your startup online and on LinkedIn. And so this is another great offer as well. So I will be here after this for any questions. I'll be over here. So if you want to come by, I can leave up the code for the $1,000 up to $5,000. Oops, that's the wrong one. Up to the $5,000 in credits. But yeah, thank you all, and really hope to see some of you take advantage of this credits and see how you progress in VentureCat. Hopefully I can come back for the pitch and demo day and see how far you all come. And one thing I'd say is that I've worked with student entrepreneurs for the past decade, and you're already here taking the first step, and just take advantage of all the resources that are available to you. I wish when I was here at Northwestern that the garage existed and all these credits from all these companies existed, so I could take full advantage of that and really accelerate my path to whatever it is that's next. So, all right, thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, with that, I just want to open it up for questions, either for myself or Pablo too. Yeah. Oh, you can leave your slide up too. Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question about judging. So on the day of judging, how does that work logistically? Are we presenting like slideshows to the judges, or how does that work?
Yeah, so on the day of, you, in the semifinals takes place by track in separate rooms with a separate panel of judges for each track. And each team brings in their own laptop with their pitch deck, and we have computer and monitor set up in each of the spaces, and you plug in and you pitch to the panel of judges, and each you get 7 minutes to pitch, and then you get 10 minutes of Q&A for the semifinals. For the finals, you get 7 minutes, and then up to 20 minutes of Q&A. And then for the public showcase, again, you get 7 minutes and no Q&A, but you just are on stage. So if you make it to the finals, you end up pitching 3 times. So it's a long day, but a fun one. Yeah. 6 teams. So 1 from each track and a wild card. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I missed the beginning of this, but can you explain what the tracks are?
Sure. It's business products and services, consumer products and services, energy and sustainability, life sciences and medical innovations, and social impact.
So you're compared within tracks for the semifinals and then across tracks for the finals?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is the criteria you're judging on, is it essentially their venture capitalists looking to invest in a venture backable idea? Is that the idea?
So the judges are not all in VC. We also include founders, domain experts. So it's a mix of, but from an entrepreneurial background. And the idea is, yes, that we want scalable ideas, right? Yeah, so it definitely not necessarily, you could have a great small business idea and it's not necessarily the right fit for VentureCat. So that's a great question.
In the past, what kind of team makeup, since I saw that was part of the 4 kind of criteria to be thinking about when you think if it's the right fit, what do you see from past teams that have been successful, like the types of makeup of teams? Is there a certain number of people on a team, or?
All different. I mean, we've seen solo founders be great. We've seen, multiple founders. So it really varies. It has so much, yeah. So I feel like there's no secret sauce. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Sorry, I'm asking a lot about
No,
you,
you're good.
but, for the revenue that the company makes, the pitch deck that you make at the end, that can have all the revenue that you made up till May 27th, right? Or
Sure.
You make it.
Yeah, oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the pitch deck that you submit with your application does not, it can be a starting point for the pitch deck that you use in VentureCat, but it doesn't, you don't have to use that same one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You probably won't. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, just to clarify.
Yeah.
I saw you kept saying Northwestern students are eligible to do VentureCat. Does that also mean graduate students or just undergrads?
Yeah, it's all graduates or graduate students, postdocs. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
How many are selected from each pathway?
So we pick 4 to 16 per track. It varies from year to year. Because we tend to get so many in B2C and B2B, those tracks sometimes have more teams, and then some of the other tracks have like only 4. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just out of curiosity, how many of you are undergrad? Can you raise your hands? Okay.
Well, thanks again, everybody. And again, I'm happy to answer questions via email. I have office hours that you can sign up for that are also on that last slide for resources on the website as well. And I'm going to stick around if you have questions that you want to ask me as well. So, yeah, thank you again for coming. And yeah. All right,
you.
have a good night.